In the ancient land of Kemet, where the golden sands of the desert met the fertile banks of the Nile, there was a goddess whose presence brought comfort and protection to all who sought her. Bastet, the beloved cat goddess of Egypt, was both fierce and gentle, a divine embodiment of home, fertility, and guardianship. Her image graced the walls of temples and homes alike, depicted as a graceful cat, or a woman with the head of a cat, her feline eyes, ever watchful. Bastet's association with the household was profound. She was not merely a goddess of hearth and home, but a vigilant sentinel against the unseen dangers that might creep into daily life. To the ancient Egyptians, life was fragile, and the boundary between safety and peril was often thin. Disease, misfortune, and malevolent spirits prowled the shadows, but Bastet's light shone brightly, a beacon of warmth and safety. The Egyptians believed that Bastet could ward off evil spirits and shield families from illness and harm. She was a goddess of healing, often invoked when sickness lingered too long, or when a dark presence was felt. Her temples, filled with the soft purring of sacred cats, were places of solace. Devotees brought offerings of food, carved amulets, and small statues of cats, hoping to earn her favor and protection. Cats themselves were sacred creatures, regarded as living vessels of Bastet's divine power. Their prowess in hunting, particularly their skill in keeping homes free of vermin, was seen as an extension of Bastet's guardianship. Mice and snakes, common threats to both granaries and sleeping children, stood no chance against a cat's swift claws. To harm a cat was to defy Bastet herself, an offense so grave that it was punishable by law. It was not merely superstition, but a deep reverence for the goddess who watched over Egypt's homes and fields. One tale passed down through generations told of Bastet's intervention in a time of peril. The story began in a modest village near the banks of the Nile, where a young mother named Nefru lived with her son Haru. Haru was a bright and curious child, his laughter as light as the breeze over the river's waters. Yet, as with all young ones, his curiosity often led him to wander where danger lay hidden. One sun-soaked afternoon, while Nefru gathered reeds along the riverbank, Haru strayed from her side. His small feet led him toward a patch of tall grasses, where the cool shade beckoned him to play. But within the shadows, something immense stirred. A giant serpent, as thick as a tree trunk and as long as 3 men, lay coiled in the reeds. Its scales shimmered like wet stone, and its eyes burned with a cold and unyielding hunger. The serpent, an ancient beast of the Nile, had slumbered beneath the earth, but now rose with a hiss that chilled the air. Before the serpent could strike, the sky seemed to shimmer with heat, and from the mirage stepped Bastet herself. She appeared not merely as a cat but in her full divine form, a tall and regal figure, her body clad in robes of gold and white, her head that of a black cat, and in her hand a gleaming spear. The spear's tip was shaped like a sunburst, radiating the warm, protective light of Ra, the sun god. Bastet moved with predatory grace, positioning herself between Haru and the monstrous serpent. The beast reared back, its massive hood flaring, casting a shadow over the child. Bastet did not falter. She raised her spear, and with a voice that echoed through the reeds, she commanded the serpent to retreat. The serpent, sensing the divine power before it, hesitated, but its hunger overcame its fear. With a roar, the serpent struck. Bastet met its advance with swift precision, her spear piercing the air. She moved as both warrior and cat, darting forward and back, avoiding the serpent's fangs. The battle raged on, the ground trembling beneath them. Bastet struck, her spear finding flesh, and with each blow the serpent weakened. Finally, with a decisive thrust, Bastet drove her spear through the serpent's head. The beast let out a final, shuddering hiss before collapsing into the reeds. Haru, his eyes wide with awe and fear, scrambled back toward his mother's call. When Nefru found him, she saw Bastet standing over the serpent's lifeless body. The goddess knelt beside Haru, her expression softening. She placed a gentle hand upon his head, and warmth filled him, chasing away the chill of fear. "Your home is safe," Bastet said, her voice like a purr. "No serpent shall harm those under my watch." Nefru knelt before Bastet, her hands pressed together in reverence. "Thank you, great goddess," she whispered. Word of the miracle spread through the village, and soon pilgrims came to offer thanks at Bastet's temple. Mothers brought their children to receive blessings, and families hung amulets of cats at their doorways to invite the goddess's protection. The story of Bastet's bravery became a cherished tale, a reminder of her enduring presence. Through stories like these, Bastet's role as a guardian of children and protector of homes was cemented in the hearts of her people. She was not only a goddess of light and warmth, but a vigilant defender against the serpents of the world, both literal and metaphorical. Her lesson was clear: those who cherish and protect the vulnerable, as she did, would earn her favor and walk in her light. In time, as the sands of history shifted and the temples crumbled, Bastet's legacy endured. Cats remained beloved companions, their gentle purring a comfort, and their watchful eyes a promise. And though the world around them changed, the spirit of Bastet continued to whisper to those who would listen, reminding them that to guard the innocent is to honor the divine.
If you seek wisdom, why not get it from a god? Subscribe to hear more lessons from the gods.